Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television and Radio Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. As we get to ride home with you in the afternoon, you may find us on television, channel 182 Charter Communications, Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com and the good old radio station. Yeah, we are so glad to be with WZLA Radio, the 92.9 FM on the dial, and just really glad to be part of those folks. And a lot of you guys are watching AP and listening to AP on the radio as well. Continue sending email, Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. I'm always thrilled to be able to hear from you, so continue doing that. I have AP Stedham with me right now. He's my favorite sports guy. And AP, boy, the emails I'm getting right now. Love and hate, love and hate, love and hate.
Right.
Alabama, Auburn, and then Clemson
Right.
and South Carolina. Folks are really in regards about that. And each person thinks the other team cheated. They do that every time. How about we just didn't play good enough ball?
Right, that's usually the case, Don. We could start with Auburn, Alabama. Auburn's quarterback Ashton Daniels, he had sat out the previous week to preserve his redshirt possibility. So, but I thought he played very well. But in the first half, he was accurate. But the Auburn receivers kept dropping the ball. They must have dropped almost half a dozen. So he did a good job throwing the ball, but the receivers they couldn't hold on to it. So. But Auburn, I thought the game would be competitive, and it was right down to the last couple of minutes. Auburn was making a drive to try to tie the game, and they fumbled and lost the possession. So that was the ball game for as far as Auburn was concerned. But it was highly competitive, as I stated. And when you play at Auburn, it's loud. They're intense. They're fired up about their team. The players are competing at the highest level. In Alabama, they've been struggling offensively the last couple of weeks, but they survived a close matchup against Auburn. Auburn was able to tie it up, and Alabama went ahead 27-20, and that was the final score. So Alabama moves on to play Georgia in the SEC championship game. Auburn has named a new coach, Alex Golesh, from the University of South Florida. He has SEC experience as the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. He did a very good job. If people remember, the Tennessee fans remember Hendon Hooker, that quarterback, had an exceptional stay at Tennessee after transferring from Virginia Tech, and Alex Golesh was the offensive coordinator. So there's high hopes that he will come in and do wonders at the quarterback position and the offense as well.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting game. Yeah, Phil and I shook hands, by the way, and I kind of hoped that Alabama would win, though, and I didn't want to put a trance on Auburn or anything like that. It's just that Auburn does have the better chance to be the bowl game, and that would represent the state of Alabama much better than if Auburn had won.
Right. Yeah, Alabama has a chance now. I don't know what the situation would be, Donna, if Alabama happens to lose to Georgia.
Yeah,
that would give them 3 losses, but they beat Georgia
mm-hmm.
in the beginning of the season. So I don't know if that nullifies those games. So, but Alabama would have the 3 losses. Obviously, if they win, they're in automatically as the SEC conference representative for one of the 5 highest conferences. So, but I wouldn't want to take a chance if I was Alabama, but I think it's going to work that way. But we never know with the committee, Donna. They have other ideas.
Mm-hmm. I would say, well, they beat them the first part of the year, so why not?
Yeah, they're in a special situation because they did defeat them, and it was in Athens, Georgia as well. And this game has been in Atlanta, so they're going to play them twice in the state of Georgia, beat them once at full capacity at home. So I think that's quite a win, and that should count for something in the evaluation process with the selection committee.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then I've got Clemson and South Carolina. Now, my team won there. I'm going to be taking some horticulture classes at Clemson. So I was rooting for them. But now my daughter-in-law loves South Carolina.
She does, yeah.
I didn't rub it in too much.
Yeah, interesting. The game was played at Columbia, and South Carolina, they had a couple interceptions at Lenore Sellers, and Cade Klubnik is the Clemson quarterback. So Clemson, they've had a rough season, the toughest, I think, in Dabo Swinney's tenure, just because of the nature of they're used to winning at a high level. And so, but they're bowl eligible, and but South Carolina, they didn't win enough games to reach the bowl, but it was a very difficult year for South Carolina. They're going to have to redeem themselves next year, and because I think Shane Beamer, I don't know how long they'll live with a losing record and not making, being at least at a minimum bowl eligible.
Absolutely. Now, was that South Carolina favored the first part of the year?
Yeah, they were ranked. South Carolina was ranked in the preseason and early on, and they just fell by the wayside and continued to lose ball games and struggle offensively. And I was at their first game, the Virginia Tech game. They beat Virginia Tech in Atlanta, neutral site. Norris Sellers, they had high hopes for him at the quarterback position, but it never did materialize. And defensively, they gave a lot of points throughout the year. And I think that game against Texas A&M when they're winning 30-3 at halftime, and A&M came all the way back to score 4 touchdowns. Carolina did not score a point. If they scored just a field goal, probably would have won that game with 33 points. But so that was a huge disappointment. Your season's not going well. Finally, you have a glimmer of hope. Beating Texas A&M was undefeated at the time on the road. You're winning 30-3, 4 touchdowns. I mean, in the SEC, I think that number was something like if a team is ahead by 27 or more, I think in the SEC, I think they were 286-0. I think that was the number that I recall. So this is the first time it ever happened in the SEC for a team to be ahead by 27 points in a conference game to lose.
Yeah.
That's disappointing. Yeah, that hurt.
What does this do for Clemson as far as a bowl game?
Yeah, they're eligible, Donna, so they'll be named to a bowl because, Donna, there's 40 plus bowls. I think there's 41, Donna. So you need 82 teams. There's only 136. So you're looking for teams that have at least 6 wins, 6-6 record. Or if you're 6-5-1 and they don't have too many ties, they play out those tie situations, so you don't have those anymore, really. So the bowl eligible, they'll be playing somewhere. I've read reports, maybe, for instance, the Pinstripe Bowl, I think, was in Yankee Stadium, maybe against Illinois or something like that. But we shall see. And there's some other projections as well. But they reached that point. So I think that the Clemson, they're satisfied it's reachable because you have extra time to practice with your younger players. And when you don't have a season where you're competing in the playoffs, so you're trying to get some extra time practicing with your younger players.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were that many bowl games.
Oh, yeah, it's a ton of bowl games down there. Yeah, all over the country. And I think there's one in the Bahamas and, of course, Hawaii. There's a bowl game out there.
One in Hawaii.
Yeah, I would. If I was not going to the playoffs, I'd say, can we get in the bowl in Hawaii? That'd be my choice.
Well, if they're looking for more bowl game titles, they can do AP and Donna.
Yeah, sure. We'll host them. We'll be the grand marshals.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay, now what about the other games that were played this past weekend? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Donna, there was some big rivalry games played. Ole Miss played Mississippi State on the Egg Bowl, and Ole Miss won that game handily 38-19. Of course, Lane Kiffin, as we know now, made the move. He's going to be the new LSU coach. There was a lot of drama for 3-4 weeks, and Don, I kind of surmised that if he did not announce that he was staying, then he was on the move, because all the other coaches around the country, most of them, before their rivalry game, they said, I'm staying, or, we renegotiated the contract for more money and I'm staying. But when he never said anything, and then it went on and on, he was supposed to make an announcement on Saturday, then that was delayed. Then Sunday morning, he was supposed to meet with the players, and that was supposed to be delayed till the afternoon. But the athletic director, I think to his credit, and I'll speak in his favor, Keith Carter, he laid it on the line for Lane Kiffin to say, you must make a decision, because we can't have you wait around and then you're going to try to take our players. And he's going to take some coaches on the offensive side right now. But Lane Kiffin wanted to coach the team in the college football playoff. well, if I'm the director of athletics for Ole Miss, why am I having somebody here on the staff coaching my team? And after that game's over, if they lose, he's going to be going to another SEC school. Not only is he going to another SEC school, he's going to an SEC rival. In other words, it'd be like, and this is the only way I can categorize it, it'd be like the coach of Alabama saying, I want to coach Alabama through the playoffs, but I'm going to coach Tennessee next year.
That wouldn't work.
Because the Ole Miss and LSU, that's the type of rivalry they have. I mean, at those two schools. I know that Mississippi State is the rivalry at the end of the season, but during the season, the biggest rival for any Ole Miss alumnus or fan is LSU and vice versa. That's their biggest rival. Of course, Alabama's slipped into there for LSU fans, I guess, the last 10 years or so. But it's always been LSU, Ole Miss, the big ball game during the middle of the season. So I don't think people have brought that point up enough about not only did he move to another school in the conference, it's our rival.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and here we are. We won, and he's done well there. Won 10 games, I think 4 of the last 5 years, something like that, which is historical. But my thing with Lane Kiffin is he beat Georgia last year.
Yeah.
28-10, I believe the score was, and he beat Oklahoma on the road, and he beat LSU once, I think. But he hasn't won anything yet, Donna, of substance. He won a lot of games at Ole Miss, but he hasn't taken him to the SEC championship game. Hasn't been to the playoffs, and he's still not going to take him to the playoffs because Keith Carter, the athletic director, said, you have to go now. You made your decision. You can't coach our team, and you can't meet with our team as well. Yeah, so I don't think the way he left, you see some of these other coaches around the country, they're hired for new positions, but they didn't have all the drama involving their departure.
Yeah. Now, what kind of salary is he getting?
$12 million a year.
You think he can live off of that?
Yeah, plenty of money. I mean, Ole Miss would have matched him, I'm sure. Ole Miss would have matched that salary. And he was advised, he said, by Nick Saban and Pete Carroll to leave. But my thing down is he's involved in the transfer portal so much. Now, Louisiana has a plethora of players per capita in that state, as we know. But, Donna, you're not concentrating on the high school talent as much anymore. You're reaching for the people that already have produced on the collegiate level in the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what your advantage is exactly, because you're probably not going to take as many freshmen from the state of Louisiana, and they're going to branch off to other schools. You're going to still be in that transfer portal with maybe half your recruiting class. Mm-hmm. So right. Yeah, if it was the days where you didn't have the transfer portal, sure, you're going to go to Louisiana, LSU, because they have all that talent. You're going to bring them in as freshmen and develop them, which is great. But in this era of football, when you're looking for the people who have already produced on the FBS level, you're getting more transfers. So it's not that much an advantage because you're not going to be waiting for freshmen to develop.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hey, let me ask you a question. This is pertaining to Coach O. Do you hear anything out of him anymore?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Lane Kiffin brings him back to LSU to be part of the defense. You know, it's funny because when Coach Orgeron was at LSU, he offered Lane Kiffin the offensive coordinator position for probably a couple $1 million. Mm-hmm. And Lane Kiffin turned it down, as I recall, for less money to be a coach at the school in Florida. Mm-hmm. So, but that could be an interesting return of Ed Orgeron to the coaching profession back to LSU, but not as the head coach, of course, but as an assistant to Lane Kiffin, because they coached together at University of Southern California. When Lane was fired at University of Southern California, Ed Orgeron was the interim coach. I mean, he had a 6-2 record, but supposedly the people in Southern California, they didn't believe he was the right fit for their program, I think.
my son Brad, you know him. So yeah. Brad can change he can sound like anybody. He can sound like you too, AP. He knows how to do that. So he called him Coach Joe one day, pretending to be Coach O. And people literally, and I even at the end of it, I said Brad was, pretending to be Coach O. So even at the end of it, people were calling and saying, "How did you get Coach O there? How did you get it?" They were, and it's like, really wasn't him. It's just my son, Brad. Let's go into a commercial break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. I told Brad, I said, one of these days you're going to get in trouble for doing that. But anyway, We'll be back.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
We return. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television Talk Show. I have AP Stedham with me right now. Everybody loves AP. AP, your show, AP, and as we see it. So let's talk about that one. Who did you talk to last week, and who do you have planned for this week?
Yeah, Donna, we had a lot of fun last week. We had Ryan Huber, one of the voices of the Crimson Tide. He's involved in the Crimson Tide Sports Network, broadcast football and basketball. He was out in Las Vegas being the broadcaster for Alabama's basketball game. So we had him as a guest to discuss the Alabama basketball team and also the Alabama-Auburn Iron Bowl. But when I was out there, Donna, we did a lot of interviews. I think it was over 20-something press conferences. Dawn Staley of South Carolina, her team played. It was Texas, University of Texas was out there, UCLA, and Duke. And South Carolina beat Duke. and they lost to a great ball game, 2-point loss at Texas on Thanksgiving night. I watched that game and covered that game. So those people who are interested in the Dawn Staley press conference, they can go to my YouTube channel at APS. We see it, and they'll see, like I said, 20-something interviews. Plus, we went to see LSU play basketball, the men's, on Friday night when we got back in Niceville, Florida, before going up to Auburn the next day. So we were busy every day last week from Monday through Saturday at ball games, basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball, college football. They can see all those interviews and the press conferences on the YouTube channel. Like I said, there's got to be, I didn't have time to count them down. It's probably over 25.
Ooh, that's a lot of interviews. So let's talk a little bit more about women's basketball, because I'm just going to tell you, people around here love it. I mean, I think you got a lot of views on your YouTube channel. Oh,
the South Carolina women's basketball fans, they're some of my favorites. They flock to that video every time I put up something about the South Carolina women. But they're so big and strong. These women that play basketball now in the year 2025. I mean, they shoot jump shots like the men. I mean, no more of the set shot type of thing. So they're very athletic. They can take you off the dribble, drive to the basket, make the shots left hand, right hand. They, like I said, they could stop and pop from anywhere. 3-pointers, fast breaking, and good defense, blocking shots, making steals, making the deflections in the passing lane. So it's entertaining. And when you see them up close, you realize these are very good athletes. They're, like I say, they're strong, they're fast, they're quick, they have skill, highly skilled. And I really enjoyed that Texas-South Carolina game. It was a 2-point game. They're going to play again down, of course, in the regular season. They're both from the SEC. But, Donna, they could meet 2 more times. Oh, actually, they could meet 3 more times, because once during the regular season, that would be the second time. And if they would play in the SEC conference championship or the playoff, and then they could meet in the NCAA tournament as well. They could play 3 more times. They're definitely going to play 1 more time for sure, but it could be 4 times total. Yeah.
That's awesome. And their coach is a powerhouse.
Yeah, they have a coach, Vic Schaefer. Vic Schaefer at Texas, University of Texas. He coached Mississippi State to the Final Four. Excellent coach. He's from the state of Texas. He's the disciple of Gary Blair, who was the coach at Arkansas, Stephen F. Austin. And then, of course, Dawn Staley's a Hall of Fame coach. You know, I don't know if people know this in South Carolina. I covered Dawn Staley's induction to the Basketball Hall of Fame, Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. And I wrote a story for the Charlottesville newspaper, because Dawn, she's from Philadelphia. She played at the University of Virginia. I remember she played in the Final Four with the University of Virginia. She played against the University of Connecticut at the time, Connecticut's first team in the Final Four. I can recall it vividly.
That's pretty awesome up there.
Yeah. Dawn's very excellent coach, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk next week. What's going to happen next week, in your opinion? And who are the top 5?
Yeah. Next, we'll do the next week on Alabama will play Georgia in the SEC championship game. And like I said, if Alabama wins, they're in automatically. If Georgia wins, they're in automatically. I think if Georgia loses, they're in automatically. But I think Alabama, I'm not sure with that 3rd loss. I'm not positive. So I still don't know what this committee is going to say about Alabama having a 3rd loss, even though they reached the SEC championship game. You know, Georgia has the 1 loss against Alabama. Mm-hmm. So if they have the 2nd loss, so they're going to be in Georgia, no problem. But anyway, down in my top 5, I had Ohio State number 1. I had Indiana number 2. That hasn't changed for a while. Georgia number 3. And I've always told you that even though Alabama beat Georgia, I think Georgia is the team to beat in the Southeastern Conference. I'll stand by that statement, even for this Saturday. Oregon number 4, and I have Ole Miss number 5. We saw the big upset. Texas A&M traveled to Austin, Texas, and University of Texas won that game by 10 points. So, but Texas A&M will be in the playoffs because they just have the 1 loss. But also I have Oklahoma in there, number 7, Alabama number 8, Texas A&M number 6. And I have, what other SEC team? I have Texas at 12, Vanderbilt at 13. Those are my SEC teams in my top 16. The Football Writers Association of America, National Football Foundation, and Super 16 poll.
Yeah, we have a lot of great coaches out there. Who has been your coach of the year?
Yeah, I think that Curt Cignetti, outside of the Conference of Indiana, I think what he's done down there, that's historically one of the worst programs in America. And here he is, number 2 in America. And has a chance now. Ohio State's number 1, Indiana's number 2. He has the potential to beat number 1 and be the top seed in the whole entire college football playoff. Indiana. Think about that. The worst. And you could be the top. I mean, that's quite a leap, Donna, historically. Also, in the conference itself, I would say, Kirby Smart has done very well. Again, he's got talent and he knows how to win ball games. They lost at home to Alabama, but I would say Kirby Smart did an excellent job with his team. Lane Kiffin, he had the one loss against Georgia. He did a great job with his team. He beat everybody on the schedule. So I would say those 2 coaches in the SEC. And then, of course, also I would be remiss. Vanderbilt. Okay, we have to mention Vanderbilt, Donna. They beat Tennessee 10-2, never won 10 games in a season. Clark Lee, I mean, if I had to vote for Coach of the Year in the conference, I think it's probably Clark Lee to reach that pinnacle with Vanderbilt.
In a short period of time, too.
Yeah, 2 years, Donna, 2 years ago, they didn't win a game in the conference.
They were the joke. Yeah, they were the joke of everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, for the conference, you would have to say Clark Lee because he doesn't have the talent of an Ole Miss or a Georgia or a Texas or an Alabama. But he lost 2 games. They lost to Alabama and they lost to Texas. They had a big comeback loss by 3 points to Texas. Lost on the road by a couple of touchdowns to Alabama. So Clark Lee, what he's done there is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Let's do a thumbs up and a thumbs down on the kicker. Who is your kicker of the whole season?
Oh, yeah, right.
A lot of good ones.
Yeah, I had to vote for the Luke Rose. I forgot who it was, but Don, when they gave me the list to vote for, the Luke Rose kickers, I mean, they were 21 of 22, 16 of 17. The one kicker, Oklahoma kicker, that's who I voted for. It was the Oklahoma kicker. I think he had 3 or 4 field goals of 50 yards, I think, against Tennessee. The Oklahoma kicker, I believe that's who I voted for. I've been voting for all these All-American teams and position awards and things, but the Oklahoma kicker, he stood out to me because just in that one game he made, it was multiple. I think it was 3 kicks of 50 yards or more in a ball game, and they won on the road against Tennessee.
That's awesome. Who got a call today? My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television and Radio Talk Show. And AP, it's always so good to have you on the show. Can't wait for next week. I know lots.
Yes. Oh my goodness! Yeah, the college football playoffs. We'll know next week, Donna, who will be in the playoffs and the bowls as well. Thank you, Donna.
And thank you guys so much for watching. Continue sending email. I will even take the hate ones when your team loses. I'll take all of them. But again, thank you so much for being with us and for sending an email. We'll see you next time around.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com, and on the radio, icradio.media. Again, thank you so much for watching. So, Christmas season, and even after the Christmas season, we think about toxic foods, things that enter our animals' digestive systems, and some of these things can not only make them sick, but it could also kill them. And so we have to be really careful about that and pay attention to what they eat. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to talk about the common Christmas pet dangers, and it's an ultimate guide for pet owners. And so many things because of Christmas, and again, to any time of the year, we don't want an ER trip for our animals. And, we want them, they're part of our family, and we just want to make sure they're as healthy as they can possibly be. But one thing I want you to think about is holiday decor. And you see how this dog looks like he's in absolute trouble. He's been after the Christmas lights. But did you know that can actually be toxic for him? And also plants. There are a lot of plants that are toxic to animals, like lilies. Holly is actually toxic to animals as well. A few more I found. And by the way, this is a great website. It's AERCMN.com. And you'll find all kinds of great ideas on how to keep your pets protected and keep them with us a long time. So here are the things that can be toxic, the plants that can be toxic to animals. So I just mentioned holly, and then lilies and mistletoe. I had no idea. Those are the most common toxic holiday plants. So also, I wanted to mention Christmas trees. Now, for one thing, Christmas trees, dogs are always looking for a place to get water. And this is so funny about my dog, Buddy. It's Buddy. We keep his watering pail clean. I mean, it's always clean, no green weird stuff growing in it. But when he gets out of his pen, the first thing he does is he goes finds the dirtiest water to drink after all the stuff we do to make sure he's staying healthy. But this is what they said. So if you have a real Christmas tree, keep your pets away from the tree's water, because this water can be toxic, can also contain bacteria, pesticides, and also mold, because it's just sitting there. There's something about water. When it sits somewhere, and I have a hydroponics water system as well here in the house. I have to keep that water clean because it's funky, and I don't want to eat lettuce that's been sitting in water like that. So we have to put different types of materials in the hydroponic system so that it doesn't get moldy and weird looking. Same thing, just water just sitting around does that. So what you need to do, if you are going to have a live Christmas tree and you've got water, you got to have water in there. But you can invest in maybe a tight fitting wrap, that goes around the bottom of a tree. That could help a little bit there as well. But there's just something about they want to get into stuff they're not supposed to get into. Pine needles on that tree as well. So you need to make sure you clean up because they're going to fall on the floor. So make sure you keep any fallen pine needles from a tree, a wreath, or any other decorations. Now, if it's swallowed by your pet, the pine needles can cause intestinal obstruction. So think about that because they are kind of pointy-like, and that could happen. Also, ribbons, tinsel, and strings. Now, what cat doesn't want to play with string? Okay, so cats who play with the ribbon, the tinsel, and the string are more likely to accidentally swallow these items. So when this happens, they can get stuck underneath the cat's tongue or in the stomach, which also causes an intestinal obstruction that does require emergency surgeries. Now, this is another thing. Cats and dogs love salt. So anything that has salt dough in it, so salt dough ornaments. So this is the only thing I don't like about homemade Christmas ornaments. So homemade salt dough ornaments require a large amount of salt, which is toxic to pets. So if eaten high enough in quantities, the salt can cause vomiting, weakness, diarrhea, muscle tremors, and seizures. Now I want you to look at this one right here. This looks like Greenlee, my cat. And so think about this with cats. Okay, snow globes. Did you know that snow globes are toxic if they break open? Some cats, like our cat, he can break anything if he wants to, if he gets feisty enough. So think about the snow globes. So snow globes, again, they are toxic if they break open. Now the liquid inside the snow globe often contains this glycol, and it's like an ethylene glycol, which is the same toxic found in antifreeze. So concentration levels vary. So it's always best to keep your pets away from any spills under the glass and liquid, and make sure you completely clean them up, because they're just going to play just like little kids. You know, you watch your kids. You got to watch the pets the same way. Candles, be super, super careful, especially if they smell like any kind of food product. Any open flames can become dangerous to pets, so curious pets may burn their paws or their tails. So pets might knock over a candle and cause a house fire as well. So instead of using open flamed candles, use the battery operated candles. And another thing you can do is you can buy these little cup warmers, and that's what I've used. Or maybe your coffee pot, if you have one of those, coffee pots like we have, where coffee is just made and drained. It's like this little heat like surface. So you can put your candles on top of that and still smells really nice, still smells good. So that's one thing you can do. But let me tell you about my friend Polly. So Polly's my friend from Charlotte, North Carolina. She lived across the street from us. So Polly had been buying candles. And Polly just called me one day and said, "Girl, I can't buy you candles anymore." I said, "I thought you liked my candles," because I make candles. And they're made out of soy, which you can breathe in if you have asthma. So that's why I started making them. And beeswax is good as well. But anyway, Polly said, "No, can't do it. Got a cat." And guess what? It singed the little whiskers off because it smelled like food. She was always buying food scented candles. And she said, he just walked up to it and started smelling it, and it just singed his little whiskers off. So be really, really careful about flame as far as a cat or a dog is concerned. Again, you can buy candles. You can do the little candle melts. You can put them in those little tart burners. I just put the whole candle jar inside where the coffee pot is. And so, and just turn it on, and it's not going to hurt the glass. It's not going to explode, nothing else. And it'll just burn kind of, and it'll last forever. I mean, it lasts such a long time, much longer than using the wick and burning it anyway. Potpourri. So think about this. Liquid potpourri has chemicals called cardionic detergents. Now, this is especially dangerous for cats. So if eaten, it can cause severe chemical burns in the mouth, as well as fever, difficulty breathing, and tremors. So solid potpourri can also be toxic and can cause intestinal blockage if it's eaten as well. Let's talk about ornaments. Ornaments easily shatter, you know that, and can, especially little kittens, they like to see the glow and the glitter, and they just want to grab at it. Greenleaf's beyond that stage, so I don't have to worry about that right now. But they can easily shatter, and they can cause serious cuts and life-threatening internal injuries if they eat it. Okay, now wood, fabric, and plastic ornaments are safer, but it's important to note that they can still cause a choking hazard or an intestinal blockage. Think about electrical cords. So, and because we've got drop cords all over the place, you got to be really careful there to make sure the house doesn't catch on fire if that's a hazard. Okay, but if your pet tends to chew on cords, your Christmas tree lights and other plug-in decorations can become an immediate hazard. Think about the movie Christmas Vacation, where they have the cat gets inside and gets at the tree and starts chewing on the cords. That can happen now, okay? They did exaggerate a little bit, but not much. Now, pets may experience burns or can even be electrocuted from frayed wires. Now, we recommend using a short extension cord and taping them down to the floor and to the wall. Just tape them. Also, turn off the power to your tree when you're not able to supervise your pet around the tree, because again, I mean, they're just pets. They're going to do stuff like that. Okay, and I want you to see this little sad face right here. Look at that puppy. Let's talk about toxic human foods. Look at that candy down there. See that chocolate? They love chocolate. And I'm going to tell you what, Buddy has a sweet tooth just like a human being does. So let's talk about chocolate for a minute. And I've heard my friend Doug McGee talk about this several times about chocolate. So chocolate is one of the most popular holiday pet toxins because the chocolate gives under the tree or in the stocking, and they make it easy accessible to pets. You got to be careful. It's always best to keep chocolate in a secure, high cupboard. Chocolate can cause a gastrointestinal upset as well as cardiac side effects. So dark chocolate and baker's chocolate are the most dangerous, and it's based on the type of chocolate, the amount eaten, and your pet's weight. Now, if it's a big old thing, Buddy would have to eat a lot of it to really cause a lot of damage to him, but we're still careful, okay? Now, there is something else. It's called, and I'm going to spell it for you. I'm afraid I'm going to butcher the word, but it's Xylitol. Now, this can cause, and we're going to find out what this is. So it can cause low blood sugar, liver damage, and seizures with your pet. Now, it's sugarless sweetener. It's also found in gum and sugar-free products like candy, baked goods, and pudding. So keep in mind that candy canes tend to contain this product. Again, that's Xylitol. Now, let's also talk about grapes, raisins, and currants. Many favorite holiday breads and salads and desserts, including fruitcake, contain grapes, raisins, or these currants. So these foods can also cause kidney damage when eaten by your pet. Now, this is something most folks don't think about, and that's yeast dough. So yeast dough is used for homemade bread, of course, and rolls, and can cause stomach bloating and alcohol poisoning in pets. So the alcohol is produced from fermenting yeast as the dough rises in your pet's warm stomach. In severe cases, the stomach can also twist, which requires emergency surgery. So let's just make sure we take good care of our pets, okay? Let's head into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few seconds. Hang on.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
My Towels solved the problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth does matter. Thank you so much for watching, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. By the way, if you have any suggestions you would like for me to do a little research for you, or any suggestions for shows, and in fact, this one is from Diane, but if you have any suggestions, if you're going ahead and send an email to Donna at donnasedge.com. I'll jump on that for you because I love research anyway. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. Thenewscasters.com. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going here. Let's roll it on. Here we go. Gingerbread. Look at there. See that cute doggy back there? Looks like he has bitten off the leg of that little gingerbread man. So gingerbread cookies and houses, you know, those gingerbread houses that you can make, they're dangerous because they contain nutmeg, cloves, allspice, and cinnamon. Now, these common spices are toxic to pets. So be really, really careful there as well. And again, I'm going to mention those common spices, and those are cloves, nutmeg, allspice, and cinnamon. So anything that has those ingredients in it, be super careful around your pets. Okay, onions, garlic, leeks, and chives. Oh boy, those are my things. I really do love those, and I use them a lot in cooking, especially chives. I grow my own and have those around. But garlic, onion, leeks, and chives are also toxic to pets. They can cause stomach upset and destruction of the red blood cells. So don't give them to your pet, any of these foods or dishes that contain any of these foods as an ingredient. Another one is macadamia nuts. You know, we are prone to make those cookies, macadamia nut cookies at Christmas time, but they are toxic to dogs and cats, and they can cause them to vomit, experience tremors, become weak or unable to walk. So don't place any snack bag, nut bags under the tree or in the stockings, and just make sure that you keep the cookies, macadamia nut cookies, away from them as well, because I'm telling you, dogs and cats love sweets just like we do. Alcohol. Never leave alcoholic beverages unattended, and quickly clean up any spills. Even a small amount of alcohol can be very dangerous, as alcohol causes drops in blood sugar, blood pressure, and body temperature. So alcohol poisoning can also lead to seizures and respiratory failures. Okay, now I want you to look at this little cutie pie right here. Isn't that a sweetie? But let's talk about this, okay? This is gastrointestinal emergencies. So we'll talk about that for just a few minutes. Food bloat. And I know that Greenlee and Buddy will eat as long as you put the food out there to them. And I'm soft-hearted. I hate to know anybody or any pet is starving to death. Now, they'll act pitiful. They'll cry. They'll carry on, which is like my animals do. But try to be strong, okay? Because this is what can happen. Food bloat. So overeating a pet can lead to food bloat, which can be painful, and in severe cases, it can be life-threatening. So over the holidays, stick with your pet's usual food intake and don't let them overindulge in human food, treats, or even their own pet food. Miranda Henry is on the show a lot. And so she's a cat rescuer. So if you know of any cats and where they need to be rescued, let me know and I'll get to Miranda. And I forgot what the name of the business is, but I can get in contact with her and she can come to the rescue. But we were talking about how the difference between wet food, and I'm talking about pet food, okay, the difference between wet food and dry food. And so what she was talking about in the winter time, especially if you have outside pets, what you want to do is feed them a little bit more of the dry food because it has a lot more calories to it. And if they're outside, it's going to help them keep warm because they're going to bundle up and get that little fat around them and to get their winter fat, and that's going to keep them a whole lot warmer. But she said that any wet food, even an off-brand wet food, is actually better for your pets because of that reason right there. It's actually better for your pets, other than the dry food. So, just keep that in mind for your pets too. Now, if they stay in all the time, there's no reason to feed them a whole lot more of the dry food. But your wet food is not as high in calories because it has that liquid in there, which is going to take some of that out as well. So again now, make sure you don't continually feed them treats and that kind of thing, because I know we all overeat Christmas holidays as well. Got to be careful with your pets. Don't overfeed them as well. Okay, bone ingestion. Never feed your pet meat bones. Chewing and swallowing any meat bones can cause a gastrointestinal upset, small intestinal obstructions, and or damage to the teeth and to their gums. So be careful there. Now, there are these little treat bones that you can buy for your dog. Those are okay, so you don't have to worry so much about them. But I do worry about chicken bones, especially those little ones that get lodged into the throat. So be super careful there. Candy wrappers, you don't think about that. But I'm going to tell you what, a pet will eat anything if it's got a smell to it that smells like food. And again, they love sweets just like we do. Plastic wrappers from candies can get stuck in your pet's digestive tract, which it also causes a life-threatening blockage. Refrain from placing candies in stockings, and remind kids not to leave any candy out. Okay, pancreatitis. Okay, so some pets can be very sensitive to food changes and get this condition where the pancreas becomes inflamed after your pet eats rich, fatty foods. Now, this common disease can vary from mild to severe. So the vomiting, decrease in appetite, especially this time of the year, if they start not eating as much, there's something wrong. Okay, a decrease in their energy, abdominal pain, and diarrhea are the most common signs. To prevent this disease, do not give your pet any fatty or sugary human foods. Don't give them ham, don't give them sausage, No gravy, no butter. I've got to stop doing that. Oh, I have to tell you, we've got to keep Greenlee, my cat, out of the kitchen when I'm cooking, because I'm gonna tell you, he loves butter, and so he will jump up and just grab it. I think he loves butter better than anything. But be careful, don't let him eat it. Okay, so I'm going to go over that list again. Do not give your pet any fatty or sugary human foods like ham, sausage, gravy, butter, oil, or holiday cookies, and sweets. So we want to keep those animals safe, don't we? Look at that sweetheart right there. Little Santa Claus hat on it. So if your cat goes into, or any of your pets go into any of these holiday dangers or experience any other type of pet emergency, you need to get in contact with your veterinarian and our local animal hospital. Now there, and again, make sure you keep their numbers on speed dials, just in case an emergency like that happens. Okay, so it looks like we got a little bit more time, so I want to talk to you again. We're talking about our pets for the holidays. 7 common holiday dangers to cats and dogs. Now, we talked a bit about some of the food. We talked about the chocolate, grapes, raisins, and that kind of thing. But let's talk about plants and why that can be an issue. So, don't believe the hype that poinsettias are barely poisonous to dogs and cats. Now, see, we didn't mention poinsettias, and that was the first thing I thought of. We're going to talk about plants. It's going to be poinsettias. Let's talk about a little bit more about that. Now, when ingested, and again, we're talking about dogs and cats, but when ingested, the milky white sap may cause mild mouth or stomach irritation if ingested. Okay, so as bad as they say poinsettias are, again, we're going to mention lilies. So true lilies, such as tiger lilies, stargazer, Easter lilies, as little as 2 to 3 leaves, the pollen or even the water in the vase can result in severe acute kidney failure in cats. And when in doubt, keep all fresh cut flowers. So we're told a lot of people will send you fresh cut flowers. A lot of people buy poinsettias this time of the year too. But when in doubt, keep all fresh cut flowers, especially from the bouquets, out of reach of cats. Now, we talked about mistletoe a little bit, but let's go ahead and talk about other common holiday plants. Again, include your mistletoe. Thankfully, the American type is only mildly toxic. Now, the European mistletoe is much more poisonous than the one here, American type. Okay, so to be safe, hang it up high so your pets don't chew on it. So be really careful there. And then we're going to go just a little bit more into liquid potpourri. I think we have time. Oh, we do. Okay, so let's go into, because a lot of folks don't want to burn candles because they're afraid the cat's going to turn over and set a fire to the house. And then some folks say, well, it'll be okay to have liquid potpourri, but let's talk about it. So if you have liquid potpourri simmering in your house, keep it out of reach of your curious cat, okay? Liquid potpourri contains chemicals, and it's kind of like this detergent. And so when they're ingested by the cat, it can result in severe chemical burns in the mouth. It can cause fever, difficulty breathing, and tremors. Dogs are not quite as sensitive to the chemicals, but it's just best to keep potpourri out of the reach of all of your pets, okay? And when in doubt, just be aware of the common holiday dangers to cats. So the more you pet-proof your house during the holidays, the absolute better. It's because we want to keep those pets around. Let me give you the Animal Poison Control Center telephone number. It's 888-426-4435. That's 24/7, even on the holidays. 888-426-4435. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge on IEC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You may also find us on television. Channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And watch the Newscasters podcast also as well, thenewscasters.com. Thank you so much for watching and happy holidays.